All right, what's up, y'all? This video is going to be basically about why y'all should learn coding. Yeah, I think everyone's wanted to learn how to code at some point. It's definitely, yeah, it's pretty cool. Ever since I learned how to code, it makes me feel, I don't know, pretty cool. That I learned how to do it, it gives me options. And this kind of reason why I want to make this video is because I feel like COVID is about to hit again. We're about to get put back on quarantine, and people are going to be looking for things to do to kind of make their lives easier, right? But before I get into that, I think that there is one thing that is important to know is, well, to just talk about, is that not every job should be remote. And by that, what I mean is there are a lot of jobs that are pretty necessary to be in person, such as like essential workers, right? People who work in healthcare industry. Necessarily food can be completely remote if you think about it. Like at restaurants and eating out, that's kind of a luxury. We can definitely eat in our own spaces, I guess, but it is kind of a luxury to have just these spaces dedicated specifically just for eating in small enclosed or open areas. So yeah, and also like teaching, I definitely think there is some teaching that definitely needs to be done in person. I'm actually, one of the jobs I'm going to be working is actually, I think that kind of needs to be done in person, is working with students with autism. And I don't think that they'll be able to focus watching a video or talking online. It's definitely like, how are you going to control their behavior? I'm a behavioral instructionalist, so I have to, help them with their behavior. If I'm not there to stop them, how am I going to be able to control their behavior? So, yeah, so I feel like they're just in a lot of, so just everyone can't be remote. But everyone's not everyone. So that's just one thing that I just wanted to say, is that like, but there is always a possibility to make your life remote. And so that was kind of the negative side. This is like on the bright side. But there are so many jobs that should be completely remote, that are completely useless, or you do not have to be in the, you don't have to be there to be doing it at all. Such as a lot of clerical work, front desk work, maybe even scheduling work, HR work. A lot of these things you do not have to be in an office sitting at a desk doing. What a lot of tech companies and startups are doing are actually they're creating software to, create these hybrid models, updating these old systems to make them like, more accessible to people, so that they can, just make the job easier. And kind of the problem that they're solving is that a lot of what companies do right now to keep track of all of their data, they hold them either in spreadsheets or on actual paper, right? They'll have like applications, and they'll scan them, and then they'll upload them to somewhere, and then they'll upload that data right onto another spreadsheet. And now they just have bunch of spreadsheets that just have a bunch of different data, and that can get overwhelming over time. So, but with code, what you can do is basically automate all of those processes, and you can just kind of upload data and run algorithms on it, and automates all the entire process. And that's kind of what companies are doing nowadays. A lot of medical companies have appointment systems and clinics where like they're scheduling all these appointments and all these different prescriptions and things like that, and it's just too much to handle having it being in spreadsheets and appointment systems other places and things of the sort. So they're creating software that puts it all in one place and makes it easier for people to handle. And a lot of the times, like, uploading all of the data requires some type of form of coding, usually like doesn't really matter. Some form of coding in Salesforce, kind of like SQL, is usually probably what you're going to be using, is to import some data into databases. There's a lot of room for growth in a lot of the industry to make things that are completely remote. A lot of jobs can be completely remote. So for the people who would like to go for those options, like learn how to code, and you can either find a company that literally is on some old system and then automate their entire process, and then that will, help them a lot. And also it can give you some credibility where you can go on, and then this is the next part where you can work for like the FANG companies, right, or the manga companies now, whatever. But yeah, these companies, they pay a lot. I don't even think people understand like how much they really pay. But I don't think people also understand how much you have to know in order to like actually work for these companies. So if you are going to be starting out completely just from scratch, without a degree, without any actual experience, without yeah, then I would say go to a company, find a company that is not in any tech thing, and just like, all right, I know how to code. I'm gonna make you guys a website. I'm gonna automate this process. I'm gonna make your invoicing. I'm gonna make all your client stuff, all your HR stuff. It's all gonna be like in this little web app that's gonna like automate all your process for you, so that you don't have to do anything anymore. You don't have to like have to type in stuff. You can just upload data. Start that route, get some experience, or you can like make your own product, make your own app, and then that's like, okay, this is what you can do. Market it, and then like start reaching out to companies. That's if you have like actual zero experience. But I'll make a different video about like actually how to start learning how to code. But this video is more about why you should. So yeah, so these companies, there is a it is a very high mountain to climb. I've been trying to climb it for a while. And there is just so much to learn, and that's just that's just literally it. But I was the equivalent of actually working for one of these companies is kind of like making it to the NBA or NFL, but for the rest of your life. Like you kind of have a contract that keeps getting better, and you don't really have to be the best. You just kind of have to like be able to stick around and produce, and you'll be able to just keep getting promotions, and you can invest, and now you're making a lot more money if you just stay in that career. Like after 10 years and an engineer, yeah, it's crazy. But you guys can look at the numbers on this. I'll probably put like a link into the description about like how they level you. They give you levels as an engineer. Either you start out like, I think entry level engineer is at L3, and after that it goes all the way up to L10. And it varies for each company, but for the manga companies, if you're kind of like an L6, L7, you're upwards to like 300K, maybe even more than that a year. That's a year, and that's already from making 100K a year previous to that, and now you're making 300K a year. And it goes up after. Yeah, it's crazy. So you do the math on that, and really like you're just working on your computer. Yeah, like these companies get like a bad rap for having so many hours that you have to work and whatnot. But hey, some people want to do that. Hey, I'm not gonna do what you want to do, man. Like, hey, people are doing a lot worse things. People are okay working at Amazon doing boxes all day. Well, if you're okay doing that for $15 an hour, how much are you willing to do for $80 an hour? I don't know. It's crazy, right? So yeah, these companies, they pay pretty well, and yeah, and that's kind of like basically it. And like COVID's coming up, and everyone's trying to figure out like what to do. It's really. I just want to wish you guys the best of luck. Stay healthy, work out, get some cardio in, get vaccinated if you can. I definitely am not gonna force anyone to do it, but it was hard for me to get the vaccine. I feel like I'm a very healthy person, but yeah, I just don't want to hurt others. So that's always been like one of my things. Do whatever you want to do, but as long as you're not hurting others. And as soon as it comes to that, then yeah. So yeah. So to wrap up this video, why you should learn how to code is because COVID is probably coming up. You want to get remote, then it's good. You can always learn. You can learn literally for the rest of your life. You're only going to get better. To help you learn, if you're just starting off, like build a community around it. People who also want to learn, find people who want to learn. There's so many communities online that you can go to. People that you can even meet up with these people if you ever want to. There's people everywhere who want to learn how to code. There's Discord groups, Facebook groups. Just look them up and join them, and start connecting with people. Start working on your own projects, start doing your own self-research. Like I said, I'm going to make a video on how to actually start learning how to code. So yeah, and yeah, these companies do pay a lot. It's pretty worth it. It's kind of like going to the league. And yeah, so happy coding, you guys, and happy holidays.